I understand
Yeah.
fans' passion.
Right.
What was it? It was Thanksgiving, right? Yeah, it's Thanksgiving. Like I'm hanging out with the sisters and I'm eating turkey, and then like at the end of the night, like I grab my phone and Rock texted me, and he was like, "Just opened up my Twitter, and all your fans are mad at me," and he was like, "What the fuck happened?" And I just text back like, "Oh, I did this podcast. I explained why I left, and I was literally like, I don't think I said anything negative about you, but I probably discussed like working with you and trying to, remain working with you so I could get a WrestleMania main event out of it, and like drop, I just talked about that. I think people are mad that I dropped the title to you, but I didn't say anything, negative about you, and you're super cool about it." But like that's the passion of wrestling fans. You know what I mean?
And on top of that, my friend Stu Stone, who I name drop every podcast, he said the statement, and I discussed it with you too. But with their passion comes something I appreciate is the hilarity of some of the memes that were made from this podcast.
Yeah.
And sometimes but you more, and it's me when I'm like, man, these guys, what the fuck? They show how great they are by just being like true funny people and making funny stuff.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of the funnier ones are the ones that aren't funny at all, and you're just like, what?
Well, I don't know. There were some ones that were very funny that I really liked. So that's like, you'll always be a part, obviously, of the wrestling culture, and that's why, right? That's why we could justify you having on the show. Like, hey, if he wasn't part of the show, if he wasn't part of wrestling, he wouldn't be on this wrestling podcast. But like, no, you're part of the culture. You're part of my life. You're part of everything. And so this was about, and not to go back to Steve's, but like, these are all different shows.
Twitter's like the fucking open window in my kitchen with somebody yelling in it. Somebody's yelling in it, and I don't want to yell in it. I close the fucking window. Right. Shut the fuck up. It's my house. You didn't buy my fucking house,
Apparently
motherfucker.
Apparently they did.
I bought my fucking house. Like that. I think that's like a weird generational thing, like that entitlement. And it's kind of shocking to me. It's like this whole generation that's just grown up with Twitter and everything and like instant gratification. And like, just because you bought my t-shirt, which I appreciate, thank you. And I got a fraction of the money for that, like they didn't make me who I am. WWE didn't make me who I am. I was CM Punk before I got there, and WWE was a fucking pit stop, and I will not be defined based on what I do for a living. I don't think anybody should be.
What WWE gave you, so here it is, the other side. WWE gave you a platform and allowed you to make a lot of money. But then on the flip side, for every dollar you made, they made 14,
probably way more than that. Yeah.
And so for every time someone's yelling at you for whatever, they should be yelling, I guess, at
we're
the
gonna
other one.
We're gonna jump around a lot too. Like when you get down to the business of it and the dollars, this is a business, and I know what I'm worth. And WWE's job almost was to undermine what anybody's worth. If somebody is if my true worth was $8 million a year, WWE does not want to pay me $8 million a year because they still need to profit. So they're going to be like, no, we're going to pay you $500,000 a year, And then since it's the only game in town, and half the people who work there were kids like myself, like you, who grew up loving it and watching it, they eat a lot of shit. Because, this is my dream job, and I don't want to get fired, and I don't want to make this person mad, and I better shake this person's hand, and I better do this, and I better make sure I do this. And pro wrestling is just the weirdest fucking business in the world. Pro wrestling was awesome when it was me and you and Prazak and Chuck Smooth, and we were driving down to Ian's, and it wasn't all this bullshit, and we sat in the locker room, and everybody pissed in a community bucket, and we wrestled for little or no fucking money. You know what I mean? That was fucking pro wrestling. Now you try to put that in the confines of a publicly traded company where everybody's like, oh no, I'm a businessman, and Hunter's running around in suits going, oh, I never wanted a real job because I never wanted a suit, and golly, look at me now. It's just like, it's the most bipolar business in the world, because they want you to be this character 24/7, but then if you're caught being mean to somebody on Twitter, they will admonish you. It's just fucking weird.
So there's an underlying theme of, and what I think is what we're going to get to is that for all the money or whatever it is, you need to be happy in your life.
Yes.
Not just you, everybody, right? So why would you want to continue doing something that's making you miserable?
Right.
And that seems to, it's when you say when we're traveling the roads, that's when it's fun. Hey, when I become the biggest thing in wrestling and now things are getting taken away from me, every time you say no to me, that's a frustration notch, right? In your badge. And now frustration. It's
a great
your badge and your fucking belt. Fuck you, all right? Fuck you.
I had the most frustrated badge notching ever.
And so like you want to at work, you want to be happy.
Yes. And that place should be fucking happiest place to work. And they use that as like this bizarre mind fuck, you know? Oh, just go out there and have fun. It's like, fuck you, this place sucks. And on top of that, you're not fucking paying me nearly enough to do this fucking shit. You're not. And I don't care anybody out there's like, oh, you made millions. Yeah, I should have made fucking 10. Period.